we're going to look at the carbon cycle. Now, what is the carbon cycle? Now, when you look at this diagram, it looks awfully complicated, but it's actually quite straightforward. It's just the conversion of carbon from one chemical to another chemical by plants and animals. So we have to see how carbon is recycled in the environment. First thing, carbon is present in the atmosphere and oceans as carbon dioxide, CO2. So that's there already. Now the plants absorb this atmospheric carbon dioxide when they photosynthesize. So they absorb the carbon dioxide. Now plants use this carbon dioxide and the energy in the sun during photosynthesis to produce biomass. So that's basically plant material, which is then eaten by animals, by the primary consumers. But then plants and these animals release the carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere through respiration, which is basically by breathing. And that's the main part of the cycle. But there are some other contributors to the carbon cycle. First thing, decomposers. They release carbon dioxide as they consume the dead and decaying matter. That's one thing. Secondly, the sediments from the dead matter also form fossil fuels and carbon-based rocks. And of course, you know what we do with fossil fuels. We burn them. And in burning them, there again, we produce carbon dioxide, which is released into the atmosphere. And the third thing is volcanoes also release vast amounts of carbon dioxide from the Earth's core into the atmosphere. So that's basically it, really. So let's do a summary of that. First of all, there is already carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That carbon dioxide is absorbed by the plants, which use the carbon dioxide and water and energy from the sun to make food, plant material, via photosynthesis. And this is the chemical equation. Water and the carbon dioxide combine to make oxygen and glucose. Glucose is the food. It's a simple sugar. And this is the chemical formula for it. Notice that the carbon here is in carbon dioxide. The carbon here is turned into glucose. So that's the first step. Second step, what happens to that glucose? Animals use the food and oxygen to release the carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. And we do this because we need the food to produce energy. This is respiration. And this is the equation, and it's basically the same as photosynthesis, but backwards. So the oxygen and the glucose we produce water and carbon dioxide, and this is the chemical equation. Notice the carbon from the glucose is turned into the carbon in the carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide goes back into the atmosphere. So this is the main part of the cycle. There are three other contributors. One is actually part of the cycle in a sense as well. When animals die, the detritivores and the decomposers undergo respiration, and they also release carbon dioxide. Also, volcanoes emit carbon dioxide, and fossil burning also emits carbon dioxide. And this is basically it. So you have the cycle, detritivores release carbon dioxide, the carbon which is made from animals and plant material also releases carbon dioxide when it's burnt, and volcanoes also release carbon dioxide. And that's it. Fairly simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.